Today's video is brought to you by my fantastic patrons. Pledge today for exclusive perks including 2-day early access. Link in the description. Just a disclaimer for all those watching, this video is not made for kids. It's for older fans and adults. If you are under the age of 13 and haven't heard words like fuck, shit or piss, well, you have now. Enjoy the video. How it's done. Every afternoon, Mavis the Diesel brought trucks of stone from the quarry for Percy to take to the harbour. At the station, she'd often meet Daisy, the diesel rail car. While Mavis liked the other engines on Thomas's branch line, she couldn't stand talking to Daisy. No matter how hard she tried, Daisy would talk of nothing but herself. Percy and Toby often took the brunt of Mavis's grumbling about Daisy whenever she saw them. One evening, as Percy was preparing to take Toby's usual train of workmen home, it was his turn to face Mavis's usual complaints. "She must think the sun shines out of her back buffers," she told him as the workmen boarded Henrietta. "It's always about her, and she never lets you hear the end of it." "I know the feeling," muttered Percy, rolling his eyes. "Especially when I'm shunting your stone trucks," Mavis continued. "She keeps banging on about how it's bad for her swerves," and Percy lost patience. "Oh, it's probably because you're too slow at shunting," he huffed. "All that crawling around like a snail makes her rambling last ages." "Snail?" fumed Mavis. "You listen here. Watch me shunt my train tomorrow," put in Percy. "I'll show you how it's done." And with that, he puffed away into the night with the workmen, leaving Mavis to sulk back to the quarry. The next day, Daisy purred up to the station platform with her passengers as usual. Mavis arrived moments later with her trucks of stone. "Keep those filthy things away from me," she scoffed. "I can't afford to look dusty for my favourite passengers." Mavis said nothing. She simply put the trucks where they were needed and ran onto the refuel siding for diesels. Percy arrived ready to prepare his train. "Watch and learn, slow coach," he puffed smugly. His first job was shunting away the brake van from Toby's vans he had brought earlier. He pulled it to the points and ran round as he shunted it into the refuel siding for steam engines. Suddenly, the brake van jolted up and came off the track. His driver and fireman jumped down to see what had caused it, as Percy tried not to listen to Mavis's laughter. "Bent rails," said his driver. "Heat from the sun, most likely. We'll have to sort it once we've shunted those vans onto the train." So Percy huffed away to collect the vans. They were needed to take frozen meat to markets in the towns. He was coupled on and began to pull them along. But then, with a sudden jerk, the coupling snapped off the van in front of him. Both they and Percy came to a stop. Once again, his crew inspected the incident as Mavis, and now Daisy too, were laughing. "Rusty hook," said the fireman. "Should have been replaced ages ago. The Fat Controller will be annoyed when he finds out." Moments later, a workman fitted a temporary coupling, and Percy was able to pull the vans again. By this point, the train was running late. Percy was feeling embarrassed and very bad-tempered as he shunted the vans onto the train of stone. The trucks were coupled together, and the second the guard blew his whistle, Percy took off, whooshing a cloud of steam. Suddenly, he found himself speeding off the branch line and back into the refuel siding. His crew jumped clear as he crashed into the derailed brake van, smashing it to smithereens as he came off the tracks. "Bother!" coughed Percy through the splintering sawdust. "Not again!" The signalman ran up. "The point's Jammed, he panted. I tried to call out a warning, but you were going too fast. Percy gave the signalman an irritated stare as the two diesels were laughing hysterically together. In no time, Toby brought some cranes and lifted Percy back onto the rails. The Fat Controller had a stern talk with the station workmen about railway maintenance, as a very dusty Percy set off with his very late goods train. For a long time afterwards, Mavis and Daisy, who are now good friends, would often talk about brake vans, rusty couplings, and jammed points. They found the subject rather funny. Percy thought they were being very silly indeed.